Hey folks, welcome to the Mediocre Cover Band Guitar Guy. Hope everybody's doing well. Had a conversation with somebody a while ago about making it and what my view of making it was. We all have, like, when we first start playing our respective instruments, we all have a thing in our head to where we want to go with it. Right from the day one when you're learning Wipeout or Smoke on the Water, whatever your first song is. And I just wanted to learn songs at first just because I knew my dad would be happy, you know? He's not just down mashing on the machine, and he's learning something. And then when I started learning, you know, certain songs and things that everybody knew, and had like a little bit of a catalog backed up, I was like, I wonder what it'd be like to play with other people. So then my buddy Dave, myself, my buddy Dave, my other buddy Rob, and a guy by the name of Brant Parsons, who's still actively playing a lot, plays with Cripple Creek. I've gotten to play a few gigs with him over the few years. We did some jamming when we were kids for a little while until everybody sort of just grew apart and just did other things. I ended up playing with another band, but, you know, once as I got that, it was like, that's pretty cool. I'd like to, you know, play music with other people. You know, I want to keep that going. And I started playing in a covers band eventually. But my first gig that I actually played, because once I started playing with people, I was like, I'd like to be able to play in front of people and get paid to do it. It'd be awesome. And one of the first gigs I did was actually on bass. And I've told the story before. Some guys that I knew of were playing a high school dance. We'd planned on going and seeing them. And their bassist had got caught drinking underage, got grounded, and I got the phone call because they thought I was somebody else, right? Which is even funnier. But they thought that I was my buddy Rob who played bass. And I was like, yeah, sure. And I hung up and I called my buddy Rob. I was like, I gotta borrow your bass this weekend. I'm doing a gig. And he was like, oh, that's cool. There's no more to it than that. And I learned the sets, or the songs between sets. They had a band room at the high school that was actually under the stage, which was really cool. Anyway, I learned, and it wasn't like just a small cramped up little room like under the stage, like you had to go downstairs and it was almost like a basement. And I learned the songs, what I could of them. Most of the night was just following with the root notes. Wasn't any fancy bass lines going on there, trust me. But anyway, I was hooked after that and just wanted to keep playing out. And maybe it was ego, maybe it's because I felt like I finally fit in somewhere, or I you know, whatever. But once as I started that, we started playing gigs, and I had a little stop and starts through, you know, my whole life. I was running a business for a little while, and I didn't really have a lot of time. Kids were starting to come along. Business was, you know, going the way it was, and I was working 16-hour days, so I didn't have time to jam and rehearse and, you know, all that great stuff, and gigging was hard. And eventually, when things slowed down a little bit, I joined an original band, and we did a couple gigs, and then that just went to pot. It was like, I like to call it the whole 5-minute celebrity thing. Then I joined another band doing original music, and it just wasn't fun at this point because we weren't getting paid, and I was getting talked down to by a 22-year-old shit all the time. And I was in my 30s. So I ended up leaving that one. And then I had probably about 6 months out of that one where I started doing covers again. And at that point, covers were doing really well. And I thought to myself, well, you know, this is it. And in the conversation we had, my friend said to me, he said, you know, I think you have these dreams when you're younger about what making it is. And then when you get older, you kind of have to revamp what making it is. So for me, to be able to continue to play music is making it. Somebody hands me money after I do a gig, I'm pretty happy. If I can still get a gig, I'm pretty happy, you know. making other people happy makes me happy. You know, when you're looking at people who are enjoying their evening and you're responsible for that, I think that's the greatest thing ever. So that's my idea of making it right now. I mean, I mention it in my every video now. I'm in my 50s, you know, and I think I'm happy about that. That's why. I think I'm glad I made it this far. Not that like I've done a lot of hard living. I do when I was in my 20s, but nothing crazy. But I think that being in my 50s and still doing the same thing that I've absolutely loved doing since I was 12 years old. The first time my dad brought home a practice amp and said, "Here you go. This is for your guitar," because I had an electric guitar and I blew up their stereo basically because it had a microphone jack in it, and if you turned the microphone volume up all the way, you could get distortion. And my dad went to put on a record one evening in the front room, and the stereo no longer worked, thanks to moi. And that really pissed him off because my dad's a huge music fan, huge music fan to this day at 86 years old, right? So anyway, when I got that amp and when I went on, like, you know, to this day, I'm still playing music, still, whether it's here in you know, our little rehearsal space. I think, which is also our front room, I think to me, I can say I made it. I never ever suspected, especially living here on a small island, that I was going to do anything more. And I feel very blessed to have done what I've done, and I've had some really great gigs where, you know, we had a lot of people and they really loved what we were doing. And to me, that was, you know, way beyond the scope of anything I could have ever imagined when I was 12 years old. And I was playing, I think the first friggin' riff I played on that Roland Spirit 25 that I had was probably Iron Man by Black Sabbath. And I was like, oh boy. My dad had told me, you know, there's a master input, you put it in there and you turn this volume up here and you'll get your overdrive. And when I done that, I was like, shit, I'm here. That's it, I'm here. You know, that was the greatest moment. And one of my greatest musical memories is sitting on that couch down in the rec room with that amp and discovering reverb and too much reverb and discovering reverb and having that amp and having my guitar sound like a shitty guitar, basically. And it was a Saga Strat copy. But anyhow, that's my theory on making it for myself. Is I still get to play music with some great people. The friendships that I've made through music that I never probably would have made otherwise, and bringing those people in my life, great. And if there's any such thing as being blessed, I guess that's where I am, and that's something that makes me happy, even in you know, even in your darkest days. That's kind of my light, music, listening to it or playing it. And anyway, guys, I want to thank you once again for the support. If you're here and you're watching, thanks for coming along on this journey. I've been here almost 4 years to the day, the 24th of this month, believe it or not. And people are like, fuck, it's been 4 years. But yeah, it's been 4 years. You've been listening to me, some of you. And appreciate it. So my thoughts to you guys are, where are you in your musical journey from where you started? Are you happy with it, or do you think you still got more to prove? All right. Cheers, guys. Enjoy your Saturday. Time to go pick up some dog poop.